welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm E.
And we are back. And it's, what is it, mid-January? Mid-ish, late-ish?
January 20th.
Mid-January, yeah.
Yeah, so we are cruising along in the new year, which feels a lot like the old year. Minus the pressure of Christmas.
And it's Chamber of Commerce weather here.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is
nice.
so beautiful out today.
It's t-shirt weather.
Yeah, I'm wearing my yarnologist shirt. I wore a sweatshirt this morning, but right away I'm like, oh, this has to come off. But yeah, we're back. We're doing our things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first. I don't have a lot to talk about, but in terms of what I've done this week, or I haven't acquired very many things. I don't think. I did acquire a pattern last night. Okay, first of all, I'm going to put a picture here of Hannah's quilt. It is in its layout form. It doesn't, of course, I just laid you'll see, I just laid the blocks out. I finished all the blocks, and I laid it out at about 3 o'clock in the morning one night and took photographs. So that's what I'm showing you here, and that's the Hunter Star pattern by Missouri Star Quilt Company. I need to add a white border and then a dark green border. The white border will be like 2 inches, and then the green border will be about 6 inches. So it'll be bigger than that. But I finally got the blocks done, and as of right now,
It's so pretty.
recording, I have 3 rows sewn together. So I'm sewing them together by rows.
What? I'm doing so poorly compared to you.
I'm sewing together by rows, and I'm not ironing, which is why it's going a little faster. Because what I do then is I iron all the odd rows with the seams going one way, and all the even rows going the other way.
Well, with Hannah so sick, you have impetus behind you.
Yeah, my daughter got sick. So yeah, I'm trying to finish it, and it's freezing over there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, after I get all the rows done, I'll iron, like I said, the even rows one way and the odd rows the other way, and that way the seams will nest when I sew them all together. And then my least favorite part is borders. I dislike doing borders so much, but I learned that new technique from that lady. What was it? Just Get It Done? No,
Jordan Fabric. No,
Jordan
Fabrics. Her tutorials are so easy to follow, and you go, oh,
yeah,
like about she did a YouTube video on how to do fancy borders.
Oh yeah,
and I went,
nice. That was really nice.
I went, that looks really
easy.
Not as complicated as other times that I've looked at it.
But I really liked the way she did borders, which is much less stressful than the way I learned to do borders. The way I learned to do borders was you measured the 2 sides and then in the middle, and then you took that number and you averaged it, and then you cut the border to the average.
Sounds like math.
It is math. It's horrible math. Now the thing is that when you have a 72 and 3/4 inch measurement or whatever it is, to measure a whole full size quilt or something, to lay a strip of fabric out that long, and get it measured correctly is like a nightmare. But what she taught was go into the middle of your quilt, because the edges can stretch. Go in the middle of your quilt, lay your border down, smooth it down as you go, and make sure it's nice and smooth and the edges match, and cut it. And you do that twice, and then you put them on the edge.
Well, even just deciding how much fabric you need, how much border fabric you need is so easy too.
Yeah, that's really good. But so that I did that on Dad's quilt, and it was a dream, and it fit perfectly, and it was great. So
on Robert's quilt, that's how I did it, and I had no issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was so easy.
Yeah, and so what I did with Dad's quilt is I took a piece of cardboard. I made the borders, and I sewed them together the way I like, which is on a diagonal, and then ironed them out and everything, and then I made enough for all 4 borders.
Right.
And I rolled it up on, for the skinny border I used a toilet paper tube, and for the wide border I used a big piece of cardboard. And I just rolled it up really neatly, so that then on the floor where I had the quilt, I put it there, and I just unrolled till I got to and it was perfect. So I'm not dreading it as much as I dread, it's just the laying down on the ground and the quilt police will be very mad at me putting it on my living room carpet with cat hair. But anyway, I try to make the floor as clean as possible.
I saw. I was starting to watch a video, Gnome of the Month, quilting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Gnome of the Month, I'll watch that. It's really long, so I only watched a little bit of it. But she said, the quilt police are not going to come and get you if you applique this wrong. The quilt police are not going to they're not going to come for you. They're not.
but they might comment on your Facebook post.
They might. They might.
So that's what I did with the majority of my week, and the rest that I did was working on Eli's sweater. I got the I think
did you measure the other arm?
I'll put up photos. I went to his house. Excuse his messy hair, and I tried it on him. It looks good. The sleeve is perfect length. And then we put it on backwards and tested the length on his right wrist, and it'll be fine. So I'm going to make it exactly like this one. So here's the finished, and I started on the other one. I haven't gotten as much done on this because I was really trying to go gangbusters on that quilt. But I got a few inches on the sleeve. So that's what I've been pushing mostly. Our dad wound up in the ER this week, and I couldn't take this with me. And it was a good thing I didn't, because he was in the hallway.
Yeah, poor thing.
The whole time we were in the hallway.
They were really
they
full
let
that
me
day.
with him. They let me go with him, which was a blessing that I prayed hard for, instead of just making me drop him at the door. Because I was like, he's not going to be able to deal with all this. So they let me go with him, and we were stuck in the hallway. And there's so many people in the hall. It was really bad. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't take this project because there was nowhere to spread out. I just grabbed my little tiny needle that I bought because I'm trying to learn how to knit on 9-inch needles, and I had started a sock project, and I was getting a little flummoxed because I've never used those little needles before. And so I pulled it all out and thought I would recast it, but we wound up going home. So I didn't have time but that's what I took to play with, because I'm like, I need something to do, but I didn't want to take this big project or anything like that. So, because it's so hard, and I literally had like this much of the foot of his bed where I had my bag and my bottle of soda, and but I told Dad, well, it's a good sign if they put you in the hallway. That means you're not quite as sick as everybody else. So, but yeah, he's fine, by the way. He's good. But
we were scared, but
yeah, no, he's doing good.
he's good.
So that's what I've been doing all week. That's all I've been doing. Oh, but I did buy a pattern last night. There is a designer named Claire Garland. Look her up. If you are a knitter.
Knitting pattern?
Yes. If you are a knitter, look her up. Her work is gorgeous. She's the one that made that hen pattern. She does all of her patterns are animals, but her deal is that they're very realistic. If you look back on some of our older episodes, I think I had a book that I brought by her that's like woodland animals or something like that. But she has one. I've been wanting to make one of the cats, and she has some cat ones. And this was a kitten. It's called Kitten. I'll put up a photo of it here, but it's called Kitten, and she gives you instructions of how to do a tuxedo cat and how to do a ginger cat. So I thought it'd be fun to make a ginger cat someday, because I know I have a lot of projects, but I couldn't resist. I was just thinking about it last night, and I knew that it was out there, but also the hen. It's so beautiful, that hen. And there's an elephant. Remember I showed you that one of the elephants.
They look very real.
They're very realistic. The elephant looks like a toy, of course, but the hen one, I'll put a picture of that up here. It is gorgeous. And when I sent you a photo of her picture on Instagram of the hen pattern, you thought it was a real chicken.
Yeah, I did.
You thought it was a real chicken. So it's really neat. So I bought that last night. I'm like, I know I have enough patterns. We always have enough patterns, right?
Yeah.
But I just, I don't know, something, because I thought it'd be really challenging. I have to find, but the problem is, because Mark keeps saying, you have to knit his head pattern somewhere. You have to mimic that. And I've talked about that before. It's so pretty. Hobbs's little head right here. It's very pretty. But I have to find the right yarn.
Yeah.
I don't know where to find that ginger color that really, now it's not orange and it's not really tan.
You could always use his fur.
I could just spin it, keep it off my quilt so that I won't get in trouble. So anyway, so that's me. Simple. That's me.
I have I kind of a lot going on here. I've been working on my WIPGO projects, and one of them I actually consider it done. I went back to my WIPGO board thing and kind of changed it because I thought about it, and I thought it realistically I had just arbitrarily written 15 days on everything, on several things, and then finished on a couple of them. I think I talked about this last week. So I went back and changed them to, went through and did some revisions on the goals that I was doing. But so for this spring scamper, I had changed it to finishing the carrot mobile. So, which I did not consider finishing the animals on the carrot mobile part of the goal, but it was just finishing the carrot mobile itself. So I did that. The other day I accomplished that goal. So there's the carrot mobile. So I finished these green little fronds on the end of the carrot and the wheels and the little handlebar thing. And then while I was at it, I did these carrots, the little tiny carrots, and their green fronds. So I finished the carrot mobile. And on this carrot, I don't remember how I did this one. I think I just did it, one stitch at a time in rows, in vertical or horizontal rows. And this carrot, on a whim, I did it diagonally. I did it one stitch at a time, but I did it diagonally following the carrot. And then after a while, I was like, why did I do it this way? So, yeah, it was a pain. I should have just done the rows like a normal. But I wondered how, like if you could tell how the variegation would look or whatever. And it was small enough that I could goof around with it, and But anyway, so I finished those 3 carrots. So, and this looks kind of weird. I did the rabbit's tail, and then this there's a chicken back here, and this is part of its wing, and it's the same color as the tail, and it's just like one stitch away from it or whatever. So I just did it until I ran out of this thread, this color of thread. So there's part of a chicken wing stuck to the bunny's tail on the end.
Now I want chicken wings.
I was like, this bunny has a long tail. No, it's a chicken wing. So yeah, so I still haven't done his eye, but everything else on this rabbit here is done. It's just his eye, because I didn't feel like starting a new piece of thread just for his eye. So anyway, so spring scamper, I reached my WIPGO goal. I don't know. I'm gonna put that over there just to get it out of the way. I have a lot of stuff.
I got no stuff today.
So here's my WIPGO thing. I went through and, scribbled all over it. And I also put the numbers in there based on, like, if she calls, like she did this month, number 2 and number 19, so I know which ones, because it's apparently
But
not calling them.
You have to go and make your
I know.
color
Yeah,
different.
I know. I just haven't done, because I want to go through and fix all my scribbling on here, too. So, okay. And so then the other project that was called on WIPGO was this piano cat, and this, pardon me for having a scrappy thing.
It's old.
It's old. It's a bazillion years old. And so this is the one I restarted. So I let me pull that through. So this is what I've done on the restart. There's some down here too. So I
But
because
you
I
do
just,
all the same color, huh?
yeah, this is all the same color because
get so
otherwise,
bored.
well, they're all like
One
because
stitch
it's so
here,
pixelated,
two
yeah,
stitch
and
there.
and the colors are very close together. It's different
see
shades
that.
of
Let
gray.
me see the photo, the picture pattern.
It's all these shades of gray.
Ugh.
So yeah, so that's why. And there's my working copy of the, and I'm probably gonna have
a
to.
more colorful kitty to put in here, like an orange.
I
kitty.
didn't choose the design.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and actually, I was thinking that I'm one of the things this is the pattern. You know, I was telling my sisters I probably have to like make a new copy of it because what I did was the pattern that came with the kit is very microscopic, and when I first got this in 2017, I think is when Eli gave it to me for Christmas. I had not started making a working copy like I have been doing that lately. So on the original pattern,
You started scribbling on it.
yeah, I started coloring on it, and then I decided then I saw people talking about making working copies, so I went to Kinko's and enlarged the pattern, and then
Now known as FedEx copy.
Yeah, taped it together, and everything. But I've had it for such a long time, and I've folded it this way and folded it that way that it's all scrappy and everything else. So I think I have to make a new copy of it. At least, even if I just made copies on my printer.
Yeah.
That I could tape them together, whatever. But it's just to get something that isn't all worn through and scribbled on it, whatever. So, but yeah, so I've been working on that the last several days. I think I'm at, I want to say 6 days. Today's the 7th day of working on this, and I think I put the goal at, I've left it at 15 days. But and this is my colored pencil that I'm using to just mark off the things that I've done, because of course I marked them all off in one color, but now that I've restarted it, I'm going through and marking them off in another color.
Oh, no.
And I was thinking of this. I had a friend, a colleague that I used to work with at Family Life in Little Rock many years ago, and he would always talk about whenever we had to do something, like if you had to figure out something else, like the price of something, if the computers were down or whatever and you had to figure out the price, he'd always talk about doing it stubby pencil style. He called it stubby pencil. That's what I always think of when I pull this thing, my stubby pencil. And actually, I'm being very careful with it because the lead is
comes out,
wants to come out. So I'm like,
coming out of the wood.
You can feel it going, bending.
No.
So yeah.
They sell colored pencils?
I know. I have,
box?
and I have a whole ton of them. But I just,
I have a gazillion.
yeah, I have this, stubby.
I have expensive ones and cheap ones.
And I was thinking last night, I was like, I wonder if I'm getting lead poisoning because I had to stick on my teeth.
No, it's
It's
different
not real lead.
But I'm swallowing paint because
I don't think it's that old. It would have to be from
it's
Dad's
not.
childhood
Yeah,
to poison you with lead paint.
And the other thing I did is I have a finish after a fashion, because I talked about a couple weeks ago about it would help if I held it right to that. This Forest Owls by Stitchy Princess. And there's lots of trees and these two big owls here. And my sister-in-law's birthday is coming up on the 29th. And I was going to try to say this was my secret stitch I was working on last week. And I thought I'd go ahead and talk about it. Because her birthday's on the 29th, so it's, 9 days from now or something? Yeah. So this is what I did. These are I took the two owls and this big tree, and I just put them all beside each other.
That's cute.
So
It's
that
a
they
towel?
would, huh?
It's a towel.
Yeah. So this is a towel I bought at Hobby Lobby. It's kitchen
nice
towel,
color.
whatever. And the weave is very loose. It's probably like a not 28, but a bigger weave, like 20. I can't get this the right direction. 26 or 24 or something. It's it's bigger than 28. But so I just moved them all so that these two owls and the tree are all even. And one of the reasons that I did this was that because I wanted to put them sort of in one place so that you can wipe your hands or whatever, and
That's cute.
have the owls down the bottom. So I haven't ironed it or anything, as you can still see the hoop marks. But yeah, the only problem is I probably would have finished it a lot sooner, but I had to like unpick things and unpick
the
this.
tree, I remember.
Because I had to redo the tree, the top part of the tree in one of the colors, because I had put it off by like half a stitch, because I was doing 2/2, and I did over 1 in one place. I just like skipped half of the block, and nothing else would fit, so I had to undo everything. And then this owl I think was okay, but this owl, I'm going the wrong direction because I'm looking at it backwards. This owl was okay. This was I did this one right after I did the tree, whatever. But this owl was slightly taller, just like by maybe two or three stitches, slightly taller than this one, and just trying to get it in the right place so it wouldn't run into the tree. I thought I had figured it out, and I started it, and I did all this sort of darker color in one area, and then I realized that when I went to put, like, I was working my way down toward his feet, and I'm like, that's not right, because it's going to be like, off like this.
Oh no.
So I had to undo everything and redo it. So yeah. So I probably could have finished it. As it was, it only took me I started it on a Friday, and I finished it on Sunday, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I probably would have finished it on Saturday if I hadn't had to do it twice. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. But I also bought some patterns because Eve and I don't guess you're joining in, but you still have time to join in if you want to. I've got some patterns you
She
can
doesn't
choose
know
from.
what you're talking about.
I know, that's what I'm getting to.
Okay, and
But so this summer we did
I saw Eve mention
cross-stitch
something
camp.
about winter
This-
camp.
Yeah. So we did cross-stitch camp, Colorado cross-stitcher, Sherry Truax Berger, held this cross-stitch camp this past summer, so June, July, and August. And there were various challenges, each month or whatever. So people, loved it so much that she decided to do Winter Crossstitch Camp. So for the month of February, the challenge basically is to start on the 1st of February and go to the end of the month, and anybody can participate. And I was just reading a post today that I guess she's going to do some prizes or giveaways or whatever. Everybody who participates is eligible for that. But then those who can complete their piece by the end of the month, and you post a picture of it, whatever, to show your completion, then she's going to do other giveaways, I guess, for those people. So, but the challenge was to choose a monochromatic piece. And I had been thinking about these Luminous Fiber Arts gathering series. So she has gathering berries, gathering clover, gathering acorns, and gathering snowflakes, I think is the other one. So they're all smaller stitches, and they're all monochromatic. So this one is gathering berries. So she has the two birds and these little strawberries that they're gathering. And
Cute.
yeah, it's she stitched them
adorable.
in Belsois silks, and I don't know that I'm going to do that. But one of the reasons I wanted to go to the attic, and it doesn't look like we're going to go today, I don't think. But one of the reasons I wanted to go is because I wanted to look for a good red that to use. I probably have some reds in some fancy floss.
But why would you turn down a trip to the attic?
But yes, so I thought, well, I could go and look at the attic because you can never have too much floss. And so, and I don't think I'm going to use silks, but I went ahead and got this one. Now, like I said, I wanted the other 3 in this series, and I'll probably get them at some point, but, because I was buying some other things, I only bought one. But the Gathering Acorns, there's a squirrel and a bird and a pumpkin, and then, various acorns, I guess. And then the Gathering Clover, there's 2 birds and a watering can and some little clover things. And then Gathering Snowflakes, there's a snowman head and a bird, and it's done. So the Snowflakes one is done in like a blue color. Gathering Acorns is done, I think, in an orange color. Gathering Clover is green, and this Gathering Berries is red. So yeah, I'm gonna look for some colors to do that. And I haven't chosen a fabric for it or anything else. But while I was at Luminous Arts, this one I've thought about for a while, and I wanted to get it, and I just hadn't. This is called a Robin's Discovery.
It's cute.
Yeah, that's very cute. It's a bunny with a little bow, I think, on it or something. I have to look at it. Maybe it's a backpack. Maybe it's a cape. I don't know.
That's funny. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But there's a bird, a robin, and a big egg. It's so cute. Just adorable.
So is the bunny trying to steal the robin's egg for Easter? Is that what's going on there?
I don't know.
I think the robin would be stealing the bunny's egg because bunnies take the eggs.
Yeah, but the blue egg would be the robin's egg. Hey, that's my egg. What are you doing?
And then this Sugar Plum Dreams. This is a Lindy Stitches. It was in her newsletter, a freebie in her newsletter, I guess. But this big horse, and there's a cat on the. You can't see it, but yeah. But there's a cat on the back of this horse, and it's basically a Christmas pattern, and there's a cat on the floor.
Oh, cute.
But it's really cute. And so I subscribed to her newsletter. That was in the newsletter. And then I had talked about this Madame Chantilly pattern, April Dolce Dormire, and I went ahead and ordered it. I had ordered it. I think I was waiting for it last week, so it came. And so there's the Sleepy Bunny on the back, and then there's the full pattern, the parents, the mommy bunny and father bunny and the baby bunny asleep with the care. So this is so really adorable. So I went ahead and this I had ordered it last week, I think, and it finally came in the mail. And then one of my subscribers had reached out to me about
on her
on my Flosstube account. Had reached out to me and has a pattern that she said, hey, if you want to use this for a giveaway, go ahead and do that, and I do. So it's a pattern of some cardinals, and I think it's a kit from Dimensions, and the way it works is I think the fabric has like this forest scene printed on there, and then you stitch the 2 cardinals that are in there. There's a male and a female cardinal. So the male is red and the female is, more buff colored. So anyway, so I'm going to do that giveaway. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow when I film my update on my channel. But to go along with that, because that giveaway, she's going to mail it to the winner from her house. And so I thought I would make something to go along with it. And so I made these little scissor fobs. And so there's a little bird charm here. And then it's sort of red and black and buff like the male and female cardinals.
That's
so
cute.
I made that one. And since I had another charm, I made another one.
To sell.
Put
on our Etsy or just...
I think I'm going to just give them both away.
Oh, I see.
Give one by itself and the other one with the kit.
I see.
So, yeah.
So check out Beth's.
So, yes.
YouTube.
Elizabeth Martinez Fanta Stitches.
The link is in our link tree.
Yeah.
So if you go into our description box and click link tree, you'll see Eve and Beth's YouTube in there.
So I think that's
everything.
You? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me put this down. Just a second.
She's in the middle of
So I have more product out here than I can actually do in 1 hour, but I'm making a scissor fob. I went to go to Hobby Lobby to look at. I wanted to find some Valentine. I am not overtly. Okay, back that up. I used to like Valentine's Day. And then I got married on Valentine's Day, and then I got divorced. And so I don't really Valentine.
You used to say in the singles group at church, February 14th,
just another day. But I do acknowledge that it is a holiday in February. Anyway, so I wanted something, I thought, I think I'd like to make kind of a delicate heart-looking kind of scissor fob. So I was looking, and the beads I chose, and of course you're not going to be able to see them there, so I'm going to have to, are these crystal-looking hearts.
Those are cute.
And to go with them, these real old-fashioned looking pink beads.
Those are cute.
Mm. And of course that's not the one I decided to work on. And I also found these heart-shaped beads,
cute.
which I like, but
like
I don't know what I'm
candy.
going to use them for. But when I was trying to find a heart-looking...
The dog.
The dog's winding up.
Yeah. A heart-looking thing for the end. I found these. And the Metal Gallery stuff was on sale, so I was looking at it. And they're wings for dragonflies,
Butterflies.
bugs. They're not butterflies.
They're like moth.
And I said, what would look good with that? And I found these beads that have
they're butterfly wings.
Mm-hmm.
These beads that have a little. You can't see what I'm looking at. I'm holding, but they have a little round bead and then a long straight bead. And I said, I bet that would make a body for whatever this bug is. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll take a picture. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
If it's laying down, it really does look like a butterfly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or not a butterfly. Some kind of bug.
It looks like a butterfly. You hate bugs. Remember?
I hate bugs.
They look like butterfly wings.
Yeah. So
maybe moth wings.
Then I remembered, you know what? I have a whole bunch of heart charms in here, and I wouldn't have had to buy that. They're very little, but there's a whole bunch of heart charms in there. I bought those a long time ago. So I've been trying to work on my WhipGo. Yesterday, I changed. The last time I worked on the kitty quilt, which I'll show you here in a sec. The last time I worked on it, I got really mad, so I pulled out the thread and I put on the thread for doing Robert's quilt. And I had it all here, and then I came to work. I wasn't feeling good, so I basically did nothing most of the day. But I came over here to work on it, and Beth was working on those scissor fobs. So I said, well, I'll do it later. Yeah, later didn't come. So
Not my fault.
no. So I got all of them to the stage of the head with the background square beside
Cute.
it. Okay. I have all of those pieces done. These pieces are the body, but it needs a little white
A snowball
thing here.
thing.
Yeah. So here's the snowballed ones. I haven't pulled them apart yet. With the corresponding heads.
I see.
But the thread kept breaking, and I don't, I just was like, because I would be sewing, and I thought I'd sewed one on, and it wasn't sewn on, and
no.
I was like, I don't have time for this. No, I'm not doing that right now. So I was going to work some more on the other quilt because that was making me mad. I had rethreaded stuff and redone stuff so many times. I was getting more than a little annoyed. So I said, yeah, no more. And in case you are, that's this quilt.
Yeah.
Itty bitty kitty committee. These little itty bitty kitties are just like regular kitties. They're always up to mischief.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I've gotten on that. And then
I'm gonna interrupt you. I forgot. One of the things I want to do in the very near future is make an ironing board that
sits on a TV tray beside your sewing machine.
Made out of a TV tray.
Yeah, I Misty showed how to do that.
Let's make them together.
Yeah,
because that would help me, like especially with this upcoming jacket I'm gonna make, and it would help you because I know in Hannah's little room I have the ironing board.
I would have to find
there.
a different place to put the sews.
Well, that's easy. That's easy enough.
Yeah,
but I think it would be nice, wouldn't it? You just be able to turn, iron, and then keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's do it.
Because we have plenty of old TV trays in this house.
I'm gonna buy one because I don't have it.
So I found this heart bandana because there has been a request from someone that says her kitties are tired of wearing their Christmas bandanas and she doesn't want to take them off because they look cute, and she would like some more kitty bandanas. Yeah. So I thought, oh, these are cute, and they're kind of like all year round, even though they're hearts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, the dog.
But,
the dog is flapping her flaps.
She flaps her ears.
Her ears are as big as
So Rachel,
wings.
I at least bought something, and I have other fabrics that I can use for more everyday stuff. So
Yeah, my cat Hotspur looks very dapper in his bandana.
So for February, yeah, your cats are still wearing theirs too, aren't
Yeah,
they?
Snug's always scratching, but
So for February, there is the I Love to Stitch challenge, which is 30 minutes a day.
Oh yeah, that
30 minutes a day throughout February, every day. You can have a couple of missed days, but and I've been able to do all those. Poor thing, she even had to post that the needle minders from the October one have been delayed.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Everything has been delayed.
You guys haven't gotten yours.
No.
Okay.
She hasn't gotten them. She goes, as soon as
Did
I
you
get
do
them.
Yeah, I did that. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, I was there at the fishing cabin in the middle of the night. I gotta stitch this row. Yeah.
Yeah. So I already clicked participate on that. I want to do it because I have so much time to be doing these things, and.
Well, what's nice about it though is that because it's just 30 minutes a day, so even if you're doing
anyway.
like the winter camp thing, that counts because you can do it at the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know what the next whip goes are going to be, and I haven't finished any of my whip goes for this month yet. I'm trying. I haven't even touched one of them. Okay. But I am trying. It's just the garage, and what I have is that analysis paralysis, where I'm like, I really want to work on my whip go stuff and the quilt, but I really should be working on the garage. So I do nothing.
Aw. Yeah,
But
I'm trying to-
I have been working on the garage somewhat.
I was to say, and I know it's when you don't feel good, it throws everything haywire. But I'm trying to sort of be like, have times of day that I do different things so that I get it done. Like when Mark is at work, it's the best time for me to sew because I love you, honey. If you're watching, which I know you don't, he wants me around. Like he'll come and lay.
Imagine
that. That's
he wants me around. And
a lot of people, married couples say, my husband complains because I always.
Well, Robert comes and says, "Come watch TV with me."
Right. So
I do.
So when he's at work, I try to sew, and then when he's home is when I sit in my chair and knit.
Or cross
And work
stitch.
on-
You
can
forget
be
to
out
do
there.
that.
Yeah.
Working on my that I can sit still and do. Of course, the problem, one of the reasons I am not far. Sorry, I'll tell a story later. Why I'm not very far. With this.
So while I was working in the garage, going through stuff that has probably been packed in a box since I moved to Arizona. No.
That means get rid of it.
No, I mean, since I moved from a different house to the apartment and blah, blah, blah. I don't know when this got stuck in a box, but I found this clipboard. And at first I was just going to throw it in the giveaway thing. And then I said, no, I can use that for paper patterns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put it over with my cross-stitch stuff. Now, I was going through many, and I knew I wanted a small one color things. I don't normally like one color things. And I have some Halloween ones, and they're on my WhipGo. I could work on those. But I don't want to. And so if one of those gets called, maybe I'll do that instead for my project, but probably not.
Oh, because it has to, for the winter camp, it has to be one
Winter
color.
camp has to be one color.
Yeah.
And I went through some freebies and I was like, I didn't really, and there's some things that I was like, oh, that's really cute, but it's more samplery. And I'm like, what am I going to do with that? I don't know. I don't know. And then I finally settled on two different patterns, one of which is a small. It's very small. It's Happy Valentine's Day by Cross Stitching for Fun. It uses variegated pink thread.
It's cute.
It's maybe,
Even
this
though
big.
you don't believe in Valentine's Day.
Right. But I don't find this offensive. So, and I'm like,
And you can do that in any color you want. You can do.
well, I thought
whatever.
maybe I'd find a towel and maybe put it on a towel.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
put
I
it-
started a trend. The nice thing about towels is that once you finish stitching it, it's all done.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have. I have now all of my mother's kitchen towels and all of my own. And I don't think we have any Valentine ones. Or, you know what? In the giveaway thing, there is a. No, that's a Christmas one. So, yeah, I don't think we have any Valentine. We might. But.
And the problem is, too, is in this house, there really aren't. None of the drawers have pulls on them. They're just like, you grab them and pull them. And so we have a couple of drawers where we've, bought those little.
Those little arms.
Little arm, yeah.
It's a little thing
drawer
that hangs
pulls,
over the drawer.
But, yeah.
Anyway, I thought
So-
maybe I could do that, and because I'm like, I don't want to put up. And I don't have tons of wall space for putting things up, especially if it's not something I don't love. However, I chose this as a second. It's not the one I really love, because the one I really love, I think I would never get it done. And that is this.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called This Is the Way. I don't know if you can tell. It's Mandalorian. It says This Is the Way on it.
Oh, that's neat.
I was just rewatching this with my dad, and he's like, this is getting good. He's like, is that it? And I'm like, nope, there's more episodes, Dad. There's a lot more episodes. This is done by Angela Lynn Studios. And I have a feeling she's a newer at cross stitch patterns. somebody asked her a question, and she says, I was a knitter and crocheter before I was a cross stitcher. I wish to keep these patterns both simple to read as well as available for crafters to use the color grid, and for knitting, crochet, and other hobbies. The problem I have with her patterns, and I think it's because she's just trying to, think things through and work things through, is that the pattern is impossible to see. That's it. Yeah. The symbol is only one color, but the symbol is hard to tell from there's nothing in the other boxes.
The grid is very small and it's just dots.
It's just dots.
You know why?
And then the overlap is this.
That's a knitting design.
Mm-hmm. So I think she's using
like
the wrong program.
Knitting pattern maker.
And then it printed. Yeah, she said I wanted to keep it available for knitting. How am I going to make that into knitting? No.
Well, you could, how I did those washcloths for you? They were just like that. It was just a grid. And so you knit everything, but the dots you purled. So it popped out. That's how I made the flamingo and the elephant. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, that's a knitting pattern. Ooh,
yeah.
That's a knitting pattern.
I guess I could knit it. I know how to knit. I guess I could do that. The reason it's huge. It's huge.
Can I see it?
Yeah. On the one, there's two things in there, and one of them is, let me see the stitch count. Hold on, I wrote it down. I had to hunt it down. Yeah. I was like, where's the stitch? It's not clear.
That happened to me with that.
It's not clear on the pattern.
Patterns, I appreciate it, but they're just not.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I had to hunt down what it was. It's 115 by 200.
That's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so if I used 14 count, and I was thinking I might want to look for something smaller. Mm-hmm. It would be 8.21 by 14.29.
That's big.
And that's where would I put this?
Yeah,
it's huge.
You can't even put that on a towel or anything like that. Yeah.
No, but I love it. Yeah. And so I went ahead and bought it. And when I was looking it was on Etsy. When I was looking for the information on this, it did not have on the information that the size.
Yeah.
That it came out, but I could tell it was big by just looking at the thing. And she did not have any kind of picture. I don't know how she generated this picture, but it wasn't provided. It wasn't provided. She doesn't have a finished version. I'm working on the finished versions, and I understand that. I've been there, but this picture, in order to get a picture of it, I had to, and she had to have had some kind of picture in order to put it on Etsy, right?
Yeah.
But I had to hold down my phone, where I could make it bigger and screenshot it in order to get
a sample
photo. And I wanted a photo just because I can't see it on the pattern to what this little dots are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are these little dots? I don't remember.
I was just thinking that'd be kind of cool if you were so inclined. If you were making a sweater, like a top-down raglan sweater, and across the front.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have this on a sweater.
So see, if you had a sweater like this.
But I would like to put it on the back.
In this wherever.
Yeah.
But in this massive, this has the rib in it. But let me move my drink.
If it was just stockinette.
But if it was just stockinette,
yeah,
you could do that pattern in place of just the big area, and just make purls where those dots are, and that pattern would come out, and that would be really kind of cool.
That would.
You'd have to get a really. what yarn you use would really matter, because it would have to be something, maybe even cotton.
Well,
That
couldn't
would really
I
define.
couldn't I also change colors where the dots are?
If you did intarsia, which is a whole nother, I think that I don't think
Anyway.
two color work would work with that. But but that's what that looks like. It looks like a pearl versus.
And so
Knit,
I really like this, but
cool.
cross stitch wise, I think it's too big for me to even. Well, the two that I did for cross stitch camp in June and July were larger. I think Coop Parade was maybe not quite this big, but ish. But I didn't do anything else, and I cannot do that. I have so many other things that I have going on, and I've already decided I want to do this whip go, and
you got to make a jacket.
And I'm making the jacket, and I still need to finish Robert's quilt. Even if I don't finish it this month, it's on the whip go board, and I want to finish it because I want to get it done, and I want to get the 20 days on the kitties done. I still have to do the finish cleaning out the garage enough to where we're replacing the garage door, and things like making dinner and going grocery shopping. So I'm just like, I don't know, but I really like it. I really do. And I almost bought on Pinterest, and I may go back and get it. I'm just hesitant to buy stuff from Pinterest. If they go, and I know that it's like their own store, but I want to make sure that they haven't taken something from somebody else, and it's a little bit harder, I think, for them to do that on Etsy because they can get caught easier. But on Pinterest, there was a Hogwarts cross stitch, and it was shaped like a heart, but it was one color, and it had all these little icons from Hogwarts, and I really, really liked it. But as I said, it was on Pinterest, and when I went to Etsy, I found one that was very, very similar. It was not the same, but it was a heart with Hogwarts things in it, and I kind of feel like maybe the idea was taken by this other one, and I'm willing to pay for a design. I don't have a lot of patterns on Etsy, but I do, and I want to make sure that my money goes to the person whose idea it was.
Yeah.
And I like free patterns. Free patterns are great, and when people offer them, and I try to send a free pattern when we sell a bag or something, but I want to respect the person who went through the trouble of making something, and I don't want to give money to somebody who's stolen their idea. Yeah. And so I'm kind of I still think about that heart with the Hogwarts thing in it, but I'm like, they look so similar.
Oh, no.
And I would have to double check.
You should message that person and say, is it?
I'd have to double check that it's not the same person.
Yeah.
But you would think that if it was, they would have that on their Etsy site too. So I don't know. Anyway, the only other thing, and I didn't bring it here, is I'm very happy on the whale that I was working on last week. I have all the black done. Now I'm working on dark gray. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's me. And now we're ready for stories.
Oh, I was going to say, my story, well, one of my stories is the reason I'm not further along on this knit is because every time I sit in my chair and try to knit, here comes a cat. And he's so sweet and so lovable. I mean, what are you going to do, right? But he jumps the same way every time, right here, in my face. He tries to lay on me. And I'm like, I'm trying to knit. And I have to be able to see my iPad, and I have to, or he'll try to...
Isn't that kind of like when you're reading and the cat gets in front of
you? And he comes and he's like, ooh.
what are you doing?
And he puts his little claws in there. I'm like, get your claws, I swear. And then I'll put up a picture here because I have a recliner and I put my feet up and here come both cats. And well, it was funny. I didn't get a picture of it because Calvin came first and he was kind of close to my feet. And then here comes Hobbs trying to get here, and I kind of put my elbow in his face, like, go lay down over there. So then he goes to lay down between my legs, kind of where Calvin was, and lays right on Calvin's head. And Calvin gets up and he's like, ugh. So then they were both there, like little cupcakes. And so I was trying to get a picture, and I had a wrapper of something there on my table, and I was squishing it, and I'm like, trying to take a picture, and that's the picture I got. But Hobbs was in the middle of a bath, so his little toes are there because he looked up at me with his little toes in there. Anyway, I'll put that picture up. But especially Hobbs, he will not leave me alone. And I'm like, I love you so much, and I promised after my kitties died and after Mama died that when this cat was so sweet, I'm like, I will never refuse him. I will never. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do when I'm trying to eat dinner. He wants to jump and he has to sit on the shoulder, and so when I eat dinner, I bend my knee up like this and I put my elbow like that because he always comes to the right side and he's always like, "I'm gonna jump on you, Mom. I'll jump on you." So I eat like this. So he can't jump on me.
So Dad, lately when Dad is eating, Rogue will come and look at me, and kind of look at me for a while. But if I don't look at her and don't pay any attention to her, she'll come around to Dad, and pretty soon Dad has got a little face right here.
It's so funny because Hobbs, Mark will be done eating or whatever, and Hobbs will not go to him. I mean, he'll go to him, but not like the same way. Like if I'm because I'm sitting here hunched trying to finish my dinner, and I told Mark it's a good thing he's afraid of company because I would hate for invite a friend to dinner and we're sitting at the table and then here comes this hairy cat sitting here while I'm trying to eat, butt in everybody's face. But if there was ever any company, he wouldn't show his face. So that's good.
My cats are. They're kind of trained in a way because when I turn the lights off to go to bed or whatever, here comes the cats. They kind of Snug is always trying to lie on my cross stitch stuff, and there are certain areas where don't, that's not a place for cats, and I'm always having to fight that battle, to keep him off of stuff or whatever. But then Puck will come and, I stitch in bed. So I'm usually on my left side and, because I'm stitching with my right hand. And so Puck will come and sit on my left hip. And it's okay, except that, I have my light over here, shining down this way, and sometimes he'll get up there and he'll put his head in the way, and so he's casting a shadow. I'm like, I'm trying to see.
Oh, I know.
And so, but then he wants to rub his face on me and whatever, or he'll lie there and he'll put his paw on my face, and it's not too bad except for when his claws need to be trimmed and he's like, But then, there are times when we're all going to bed now. So then Snug is right here beside me, and he's got I put my arm down, then he puts his head on my arm, and then Puck is lying on my hip, and they're both purring and purring and purring. And it's very sweet. Except I can't sleep that way because I know that as soon as I fall asleep, Snug's gonna get in the corner and mess
I've had to
stuff.
start completely ignoring Hobbs at night. He will. He goes and he bangs the cabinet in the bathroom, and he goes and gets on my dresser and finds things. I'm like, Pippin left you a instruction manual under the bed, didn't he? How to get Mom out of bed. Here's the ways. But so I've just had to stop because I'm like, we are training him. Every time I get up and check, oh, you must be out of kibble, and give him some I'm like, I'm training him. So now I've actually started refusing. And Mark's like, just feed them. I'm like, I am not going to feed them right now because they're so naughty.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so I'm trying to
Snug
train
has
him
gotten
differently.
Snug has gotten to where he'll grab I have my Bible and my study book for the Bible study in a thing by my bed, and he will grab it. It's there in a tote bag thing, and he will grab the tote bag and pull it off onto the floor, because all I hear this. Boom.
Yep.
And I'm like, stop it!
I know,
and then he goes, and he knows it's wrong because he'll go and he'll sit on the floor beside the bed, like he knows I'm gonna spank him or squirt him or something like that.
The reason I know that that Pippin left an instruction manual is because Pippin used to one day, because he used to always be getting into stuff, and you'd get up and stop it, and then he's doing that because he's out of food, and then, he had me trained so well. But one night, I was, I guess it was still or maybe it was morning because I could see him. But I was in bed and I hear on a bag, a plastic bag or something. And I looked at him and he was looking at me. And then he goes like that. And I'm like, you little jerk. You are not trying to get into anything. You are just making the noise that annoys me. He wasn't a little jerk. Well, no, he was. But he was very smart, right? So I'm like, you have me trained very well, don't you, child? So, oh my gosh. But I don't know anything else crazy. Well, besides going to the hospital with Daddy. I don't think anything else really strange or mysterious happened this week. I had really good Italian food. Really good. We were so bored with our, like we wanted something, and I'm like, I need something comforting that I don't have to cook, and I can't name what it is. So we started looking around, and there's this place. It's been there forever, Rigatoni's. Yeah. And we had never set foot in it. All the years we've lived in this area, we've never set foot in it. I'm like, let's try it. It was so good. So if you live here, just so you know, Rigatoni's, very good.
I was going to talk about the this here in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
I went in, I guess it was 2019, because 2020 was when the pandemic canceled everything. So I think it was 2019 that I went to Stitch Shenanigans here in Chandler. And we did a smalls exchange. And this is what I won in the smalls exchange, or and this was stitched by Marcy.
If that's a small, I'd hate to see it big. It's so pretty.
And but so these are all Prairie Schooler seasonal, they're designs. So small, and it's tiny stitching. And this is like a photo cube or something from Walmart. I mean, from Hobby Lobby. And so she stitched these seasonal designs, summer, spring, winter, and fall. These little designs on the sides here, and then put fabric on the back, and then
chenille.
Well,
she puts your finishing to shame, doesn't she?
Huh?
She puts your finishing to shame.
Yes, I can't.
I'm not trying to.
And so,
it's even upholstered in the inside.
So in here, I mean, on the top it says "Stitch in Time," and there's scissors and
measuring
some
tape
spools. And so that she glued all the stuff on there, and
she even has charms in here.
And she
upholstered the inside.
Yeah. And so she also, included these. There's a little spool here with a measuring tape around it, and this little scissor fob that has a cactus, and these little scissors, and there's a thimble. I can't remember. I think she gave this also. It's an Arizona little thimble, and then these two cactuses I got at Stitch Shenanigans. They were just among the little freebie things we got. But then she made these. And
Those crochet
I think so. And there's little pins.
stick pins in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cute. That's so cute.
And then this one, this little stubbier one. So they're very cute.
It's like you're trying to figure out how to finish stuff, and you look at that, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, very.
You know, I have trouble with this kind of thing, like these little decorate. You do better, Eve. But
Yeah.
I could never think of that. I think I could never think of it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I know I can't think of it. That's why I have a bag full of finished stuff. That,
Well, you know, I was
and I keep
watching.
buying FFO things going, oh, this will be really good
She
for
has
finishing.
3 boxes of FFO stuff in the garage.
Yeah.
I was watching not Colorado Stitcher, the proper Stitcher. I watch her sometimes, and she was saying, she's like, you know, I used to be afraid to FFO stuff. And because I was afraid it wasn't going to be good enough or not as good as anybody else's. And then she said, I don't know what I was thinking, because finished is better than perfect.
Exactly.
And you know, you did all this work stitching it. Why is it not finished? So it doesn't have to be perfect. And she says, as you do it, it gets better because you're doing it more often, and you know what you're doing.
Well, my problem is that I just have no imagination when it, you know, like I'll look at something like a finishing piece and I think, well, okay, this will be really good, like, you know, to flat finish, whatever. But part of it is that it's not really my jam. I don't get real excited about it. Now, when I'm, you know, going to give something away as a gift or something, I might think of, you know, how can I do this? And, you know,
but when she does it, it comes out beautiful.
But, you know, I just, you know, like pillows are something that I hadn't done before until I sort of started this. You know, when I first started cross stitching, pretty much everything I did, I put in frames, and I didn't do, you know, fancy framing like the pinning and the lacing and things like that. I didn't even know. Now I'd have to go back and look.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you learn along the way. You pick up tricks and different techniques and stuff.
And in those days, I don't think I ever really thought about it. But now, you know, everybody talks about it. Everybody puts it on YouTube and Facebook and everything else. And so I've gotten more ideas about how to finish stuff. And so, like I said, you know, I've done. I can do pillows really well. You know, I get Eve to sew them for me, and then I stuff them in, you know, whatever. But and flat finishes, I've learned more from Stitching with the Housewives and Vonna Pfeiffer and things like that about how to do, you know, those things. And when I watch the tutorials or watch them finish or whatever, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I can do that. And then it's like, you know, it's not really you know, I'm not really good at it, and it takes a lot more effort than I think it's going to, or whatever. I have to really think it through, and I've even like made myself like sort of recipes, like, you know, what do I need? I need this, I need that, you know, and when I have the time and energy to do it, you know, I can do it, but it's just a matter of, it's much easier to just sit and stitch, you know.
So people
things
send their cross stitch to people to finish.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
if I could afford to do that, I probably would, you know.
So
to some degree.
we're really going to have to.
We have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to get my dad to an appointment today, so we're gonna cut it short. We've been talking for an hour. But we thank you so much for new subscribers and for all of the views we've been getting. So
like
happy.
and share.
Yeah, please. And let us know what you're working on and how your New Year's going.
And we love comments.
Yeah.
Comment.
Absolutely. So it's good to see you guys again. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.